led this event alongside Ministry Martina Hoff, and we knew the commitment of Chile to for digital transformation. Without question, Chile is the country that is truly the leader. So it is quite a pleasure to introduce you to Julio Pertuzé, Undersecretary of Economy in Chile. So Julio, the floor is yours. Thank you for this invitation to participate in the Digital Innovation Day. I'm going to be very brief, not only in terms of economic terms, but also in what we're doing in Chile, especially the process of digitizing the MSIs and the impact that the pandemic has brought about for the digital transformation of the economy. As Jorge has said, the good news is was giving us to the Attorney General's office in Chile was the tendering of a new processing technology that we believe will be better for Latin America and will economize an implementation of these technologies. This makes it so that we can be better and providing better services for our citizens at large, especially at an international level. We actually have invested over $1 billion US in improving connectivity that we have achieved not only within the territory in Chile, but also in the interoceanic areas of Chile, which also connect with the United States. And we're listening to other studies in order to have better connection to other countries, especially with Asia. Now, this is when it comes to hardware. When we think about digital transformation, we're not only thinking of the hardware per se, but also in society at large and how they adapt to technologies. And I want to be very clear, the pandemic has acted as a changer, as a catalyzer for all the processes of transformation, digital transformation in the economy. I would like to give you some figures. We as a Ministry of Economy, through the several services that we offered within the tools of the trade that we have in 2019, over 20,000 instances of training in terms of technology for MSIs. In the past year, in 2020, product of the pandemic, we had to increase these trainings, and we delivered over 1,200 instances of training, and we've worked with over 400,000 instances of training, and we trained about over 700,000 MSIs throughout the country, and we're reaching these places, and even more so that the OECD found that Chile, as a product of the pandemic, had been the country that had advanced the most in terms of technology in MSIs. About 62% of those MSIs said that they had incorporated some form of technology. But the data that I find the most interesting is that about 90% of them said that this is irreversible. And what does this imply? This imply this implies that the citizens find it interesting in a correlation between how severe were the measures of confinement and lockdown and sanitary restrictions, and how did technology for MSIs increased. And this forced a way in which many MSIs tried to adopt technology. The Gen Pop in general and the help that was given by the state to the families and the state bank data through debit cards, especially in the increase of digital money in the economy. All the families would receive some digital form of currency in their debit accounts, and that account would have a card and that card would allow them to make purchases. And as a product of the sanitary measures, the Gen Pop had to become used to authenticate themselves with the state through a mechanism that was unique, clear, in which they would actually have these permits of displacement, which allowed people to go to the supermarket. They had to ask for a form of permit. So these three factors, first off, is the use of a digital currency. In second place, we had a Gen Pop that was using or interacting better with the technology, and in third place, the MSIs themselves started to demand the use of digitization instrument. As we see in Chile, hunger was a driver. for for progress. And over the past few months, we decided to adopt these measures. And in the past three reports of economic growth indicated that we grew about 18 to 20%. And tomorrow we will have the new figures. And when you see what this growth explains and you compare that with the previous years, the economic growth that we have observed is not explained if it weren't for the use of technology, especially because the base of operations have to actually happen. But when we detail the sectors, so we saw that didn't grow and others that were not affected. And this is exactly why we see these leaps of growth, not only in technology, but also in economic growth at large, especially in the commerce sector, in the trade sector, due to the digital aspects of it all and the existence of digital currency, we managed to migrate and incorporate technologies, new technologies, as said by the other companies, are the changes are now irreversible. Now, thinking of a post-pandemic world, we do believe that digital economy in general presents an opportunity of growth because the grace that they have is that they don't know borders. We must recognize the impact of everything that was negative at the level of people who unfortunately lost their lives and the loss of employment and the economic impact. And what I would have to highlight is that it has brought about a more digitized economy and with the hunger to conquer new global markets. And on this sense, we have worked alongside the Council's office in the creation of legal agreements and alongside other countries to promote the export of digital services. A digital economic partnership agreement alongside the government of New Zealand and Singapore who have become pioneers in this matter. They actually signed a special agreement to provide services to these countries and to stimulate digital economy. I would like to end by saying that I'm optimistic in terms of what will become a digital and the impact that will happen for MSIs, especially because we need to understand what is the nature of the things that are changing. And when we talk about digital transformation, this is what happens through digitization. The important thing about digital transformation is all about change. This is what these technologies will allow us to do in a different way. And the digital technology that what they allow to us is to corroborate in an unprecedented scale, like we had never done before, how they actually impact the society. And great revolutions happens when we as a society can be actually communicate in a different way. We wouldn't understand the Renaissance without the invention of the press. We wouldn't understand the French Revolution without the invention of the newspaper and radio for the Bolshevik revolution, television for the revolution of the flowers, and social networks for the Arab Spring. And now the pandemic has brought about new ways of cooperation. I believe that when you talk about this with small entrepreneurs, they know the solidarity of it all. The MSIs in Chile have about 1.3 workers themselves. That is family that depend on this because they have one or two people that work with them as well. So they believe very is alone in the fact that they need to do many things at once, and this becomes safeguarded when the micro entrepreneur know that they can connect to other people that can provide them with different types of services. Even networks of support to progress and become better in their businesses. I do believe that this will be revolutionary and has been good adoption of technology for the pandemic and that will not only streamline the services, but it will become a utilitarian nature because the economy, the digital economy is an economy that allows us to do more with the things that we already have in place. And I believe that this is exactly where we're going to produce an important jump in the creation of an economic value, so an environmental impact that we were used to before, but that wouldn't happen with that a bit economy. The digital economy allows us to adhere different types of businesses and services and conquer different borders. And Chile can be up to par in the creation with other technologies, with other countries. This is what I wanted to tell you with a very hopeful engagement, regardless of what the pandemic has brought about, but very optimistic towards a future that, through the use of technology, will allow us to become better. Not to only become more interconnected, but also to have more possibilities to create value and to progress together in the use of several and different approaches. Thank you very much.